if the Bills and Chiefs both when the
Yeah,
Bills
the
go.
Jets. We're traveling out to see our old buddy Gino out in
Yes.
out in Seattle. So we're gonna go see a guy we drafted a while back, who's obviously had a tremendous year, and play them head on. But they have obviously been playing like crap lately too. So this is two teams coming in as the complete opposite of your guys' game. Coming off, I think we're coming off 4 losses, and I think they might be coming off 3 or 4 as well. But that's the one thing I think that is the difference between the Bengals is the Jets are getting really all their players back this week,
Okay.
including Mike White, but a lot of the guys on defense with Joyner, Quinton Williams, another week healthy, really getting all our guys back prepared for this game. I know it's very difficult to travel east to west, but I mean this team has to have the biggest shot in the arm with Mike White getting cleared. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh
They're
yeah.
going to be ready. They're going to be ready to go. I mean, these last 2 weeks, it looked like they could care less. They almost looked like they felt like they had no chance to win.
I think they'd be ready to go if they heard Steveler was the starter. Obviously, not as good of a chance, I don't think, as Mike White starting. But I think anyone, even Flacco, they'd probably be excited about. It's like, give me anyone other than Zach Wilson, and the team is happy because clearly it's a team that not only have the fans hate him, they've given up on him as well. It almost seemed that like the line even blocked harder when Steveler was in. And I'm not trying to speculate that the Jets line were like doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's got to be so demoralizing to see see number 2 there. He's number 2, right, in the huddle.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No. I mean, I think it goes back to they talked about it a little bit on the press conferences. Is his confidence? It's just completely
Mm-hmm.
gone. But dude, I'm also like sometimes you're just not good in the NFL. Like there's guys that are good and there's guys that never become good. Like I was looking at Mike White's stats the other day. If you literally just took his name off of his name and where he was drafted and everything, he has 1,900 yards passing in 7 starts. It's like this guy would be like, oh man, we got to get this guy in the game and give him a shot. But since he's a 5th rounder, since he doesn't have the first round talent, he's really got to earn everything. So maybe that'll be good for him in the long run. I'm really excited to kind of see these next 2 games to see him play it out. And if he's up in the high 280s, 300 average, and a couple touchdowns a game. I mean, obviously, keep our fingers crossed we get a couple wins. I mean, this guy's got to be in the running for the future. Like, are we really just throwing away guys that are throwing for 300 yards a game, like 5, 6 times in their first 9 games? I mean,
Especially if they went out.
right.
But
But even if
I
they don't, like, do you not bring this guy back and have somebody compete with him?
I would think so. But like the question is, I was looking at some things. Is what do you do with Zach Wilson? Because if they cut him this year, it's a $20 million cap hit that they're going to take. And if you keep him, I think he costs you, it's either $9 or $11 million.
Yeah, you
If you
can't. I mean, you
keep him.
can't have the circus in town. I mean, it's absolutely a circus every week right now.
Yeah, I think he's got to go. I agree with you, but just like listening to people, there's some people that think that the Jets have no choice but to keep him, and maybe you shouldn't give up on him. But like getting to like what your point where you said some people just aren't cut out to do it. Like, has this guy just out athleted people his entire life? Because if you look at BYU's schedule,
Yeah.
the best defense they played was Coastal Carolina. I think they played Utah and Washington
Yep.
as well. But like, what are you doing with Coastal Carolina?
Well,
You
that's
know,
why people ask the question all the time. It's like, hey, would like an Alabama beat the worst NFL team? And it's like, no, they would have no shot
no,
because every one of the guys is the best player on his college team in the NFL. So when you go to a BYU and you have, exceptional talent and you're playing against Coastal Carolina, it's like, yeah, you can have a really nice college career. There are laundry lists of players that have had really nice college careers that have not translated to the NFL. And
yeah. I mean,
that's, I
how?
think, unfortunately, like that's the situation that we're looking at here. It's like, if you're going to tell me right now, you can either go into next season with Mike White or do another season of Zach Wilson, hoping he's going to get better, I'll roll the dice and say, hey, see you, Zach. Like, go try to be Geno Smith 7 years later. I honestly don't think he even has the mindset to do that. I
No,
mean, Geno works his ass off. He always has. And that's, I think, why he truly is where he is today. I just don't think Zach has that upbringing or the desire to work that hard.
Now, Gino definitely had maturity issues, when he
Yeah.
was with the Jets, but I guess, but hard work was not apparently one of them, is what you're
No, I
saying?
mean, I hate to say this, kind of weird, but I followed his Instagram account
Hmm.
and his entire offseason workout regimen. Like he never stopped training. Like he was the starter every single day. And, it goes to show if you continue to put the work in and when you get your shot, he's almost like Mike White now. They're both got their shot and they're taking advantage of it.
Hell, he got a second shot,
Yeah, he got a second shot.
which not everybody gets.
No, yeah, no, definitely not. Um, so yeah, coming into that game, we're pleasantly surprised with where we're at, and we'll see what happens. One game at a time, really. Right now, I mean, the whole nonsense about Sal is like completely behind Zach Wilson. It's not true, dude. He has to say these things as the head coach. Do you think he wants
Hmm.
to answer questions about why they're cutting Zach Wilson? I mean, the reporters are already asking them that. They're like, "Oh, there's a report that you're moving on from Zach Wilson." Like, do you think right now with 2 games to go, he's going to be like, "Yeah, we're actually cutting the guy in 2 weeks"? Oh,
I think the only way you could bring Zach Wilson back, because you don't want to lose that, have a $20 million cap hit, is he has to be the backup. You cannot
yeah,
roll him out there as the starter. The fans won't accept it, but most importantly, the locker room will not accept that at all. I don't see what he could possibly do, because he just bought that offensive line like scooters,
I know. I saw
and,
that.
and that
He's
did not
probably going to
work.
be asking for a refund soon.
I know. If anything, they probably didn't like look at it as a nice gesture. I wonder if they looked at it like, here's like the rich kid trying to buy his friends,
Yeah, well, I think he
like that
probably
type of
looked
guy.
at it as this guy's got to do anything he can to save some people around him around this place, or he's gonna. Have you ever seen that the Jamal Adams meme when he tries to get in the Jets facility after he's been traded to Seattle and his code doesn't work?
No,
Oh, it's pretty hilarious.
that's a thing.
You
That's
got it. Yeah, you got to
fantastic.
look that up. It was just one day they must have like changed the codes. He was trying to get it. He was locked
Hmm.
out. But it's been used a lot. So yeah, I don't know. I actually saw the